Hello and welcome back to another class of the 72 names by understanding the actual combination that correspond with this particular week. We're in the middle of the month of Cancer, and this week we are connected to one of the combination that is called Mem Lamed Hey, also known in Hebrew Milah, words. And when we look at this combination, it's basically awakening the understanding of the power of our words. So many things have been said on that, right? We know that there are times that our words are used as a weapon. And maybe we are not aware of it, but we can hurt people with our words. Our words can be like an arrow without even taking into consideration exactly what the other person will hear or how he will be able to handle that. And as a result, part of our work is really to constantly practice in pausing. Pause, what a pleasure, pausing before speaking, and to consciously step outside of ourselves to really think about the other person. You know, angels constantly surrounding us, and they immediately transfer whatever comes out from our mouth into the universe as an attempt to manifest our words and manifest that particular energy. And our words have power. Our words have power. This is why Mem Lamed Hey known to be, again in the book, in the interpretation, like kind of like a weapon, right? It's called like a weapon that we need to pay attention to, and our words have power, and we can use the power of good or bad, right? So we can use our word to bring light into the world, to create miracles, and to help us manifest our dreams. At the same time, we can use our word to speak ill of others or to bring people down and to add the darkness into the world. So this week, we really want to make sure that the arrows that we shoot out from our mouth into the universe, that they will be positive and to bring only positivity and light back to us and to the world. It's interesting that this week we have started the 3 weeks of limitation, it's called, or the 3 weeks that it's called in Hebrew Ben HaMetzarim. And it's 3 weeks that has tremendous amount of energy where we can or tap to the good or tap into the bad within. By our action, by using our thought and using our words, how we perceive things, how we see things, and how we manifest in them. This week portion that associated happened to be connected with this week, it's called the portion of Matot. And one of the things in Matot is talking about Nedarim, or Neder, which is the vows, like when we make a commitment with or promise with our words towards someone else or towards ourselves, and we spread it and say it into this world. And the most important thing that we need to learn about the vow aspect is that how much we really need to make sure we are keeping the power of a word, or keeping our mouth. It's like, you know, there's the story of Rachel and Jacob, that Jacob said that that time that whoever stole those statues that were belonging to Lavan, the father of Rachel, shall not live. But he didn't know that his own wife, the wife that he loves, Rachel, stole them. And because those words came out of his mouth, it had to take place, it had to manifest. So, and it did eventually, unfortunately, manifested that Rachel passed away. But this is in everything that we are saying. We need to pay attention to the words that are coming out again from our mouth. You know, there was a person that was really close to Rav Breinwein, and that he told him that in next Passover, doesn't matter what will happen, I'm going to be with you. And in the following Passover, what happened is that Rav Breinwein passed away. And that particular person that promised Rav Breinwand to spend time with him in the next Passover passed away as well. You know, we need to be careful about every word that comes out from our mouth this week. We need to pay attention, especially in the first week out of the 3 weeks of limitation, of Ben HaMetzarim, this like heavy energy that exists. It's really here to help us to transform any tzara leratza, any issue of pain and suffering into transforming into a positive energy that actually will inject more of desire within ourselves to connect. And we would like to ask ourselves, in general, why do we really need to have a vow? Why do we really need to make some sort of a promise or commitment with our word? Like, what type of benefit really we have with that? And we understand, you know, that there's a space that is being created between the words that we say to the result. And that in that space, the evil inclination comes in. So really, what type of benefit do we have with that? But you know, as people living in this world, it's very easy for us to talk, very easy for us to, right now, even with social media, to just like type things and share information and share opinion that may not really be a benefit to the world. And what we want to understand, that the positive aspect of our speech is about the power of manifestation. So we can take this power of manifestation and the power of commitment actually to put us in a place where we are committed to our connection with the light, where we are committed to manifesting our dream, where we are committed to manifest our great intentions. Our words can create miracles. Our words can create miracles. You know, by the way, the story of Rachel and Jacob, it's in the portion of Vayetze. And as we know that angels are constantly around us, and they immediately transfer whatever comes out of our mouth to any attempt of manifesting that energy. And therefore, we know that if we would like to, this week, actually, more than any other time, to manifest our dreams, this is the time where we can speak about our dreams. This is the time where we can inject more truth and positivity to every area in our life. So using the word of Mem Lamed Hey, the combination, Mem Lamed Hey, in a positive way, it's really to prevent of speaking any form of evil speech. It's a great reminder that this week, more than any other time, to inject more of love and human dignity among us. There's a great story about that can really explain more about what I shared. So I'm going to read from my notes to you the story to make sure that I'm not missing any points. So it speaks about this person that has a store in a small town, that he's coming to the big town to purchase more supply to his store. So that person is going into this huge warehouse, to this big store, and he ordered everything that he needed for his little store in this little town. And after he was given the invoice to pay, that the person asked like if it's okay to pay later, or maybe to get like some sort of a credit that he'll be able to pay that all amount later. And he promised that he will pay all what he owes as soon as he comes back to his home. And that wholesaler guy tells him, no, I cannot give you the supply without you giving me the money, because I've checked and I've found that many times before you took the supply without the money, and you promised me, like today, that you will pay back when you reach to your home, and you never made your commitment. You didn't follow your words. Therefore, I cannot trust you anymore. And that person starts to cry and beg and says, it's not my fault, that I didn't carry the word and the promise, because there are so many circumstances that prevented me to pay you. But now, really, this time I promise you that I'm gonna keep my word and I'm gonna pay you. And please, I'm begging you that you will not harm, not me and not my family, because if you will not receive the supply, and if will not go back to the town with his supply, all his reputation there in his small town will be destroyed, and his wife and his sons and whole his household gonna be suffering from famine. And then he was continuing and begging and sharing more and more of this information. And the big guy, which means the wholesaler, couldn't really carry on, listening to his begging and so forth. And he said, you know what? Okay, I'm going to give you the supply, and okay. And as the rumor within all the wholesale place start to spread that the head person, the supplier, gave this guy again the supply without getting money, people that work there came to this supplier and tell him, really objected the decision, tell him, please do not give him, with no way that you're going to give him the money, the supply, without him paying any money. Because he promised and he never followed through. He promised and he doesn't make his promises. And he didn't even give us money to deliver the supply. It doesn't pay anything, and please don't give him any supply without his. As they're arguing there, all the people, and after the supplier heard everyone, he went to this person from this little town and told him, listen, you better listen to my advice I'm going to share with you. That this advice, I believe, will make everyone feel comfortable. And he asked him, for what? What is the purpose of you taking so much of supply that you and make commitment for such a great amount that you will owe me, and then you will not have a way to pay it off? Why are you making that order? Isn't it better to get a smaller portion of the supply, so it will be better according to your means and what you can afford to pay it? Even like a person that buys so much supply from me and sells in much bigger quantity than you, doesn't sell that amount, and you coming from a small city, a small town, I think that it's better for you if you'll take a smaller portion of the supply, and then you'll be able to sell it, get the money, earn money for yourself, and pay for me. And then all the people that gathered heard this, and they listened to the supplier, and the small town store owner bought only the supply that he could pay with cash that he brought with him. And he went back to his small town, sold it, came back, and did many times. He followed the advice, coming back, buying a small dose of supply, selling it in his town, paying, and then till he really earned a good sum of money that put him back into the right path for himself. What the Kabbalists are explaining based on this story, this is how it happened in our spiritual work. One day we are waking up and we say, oh, I must change myself. I need to change everything in my life. And I'm going to do everything that needs to be to change my life. And in one day, when we haven't changed completely, we are giving up and we're going back to behave the same way we behaved before. So the Chafetz Chaim, one of the Kabbalists, shared that this is why there's no other way than just following the footstep of that little town store owner, where if we don't have a way and mean to go back to the light of the Creator in full capacity, isn't it better just to do it step by step, till we really connect and have affinity with the Creator? You know, a lot of people, as they're approaching any spiritual path and coming to study Kabbalah, says, yeah, I'm here to change, to transform totally, completely transformation. But as soon as you take the whole jackpot, you go back to the same place where you want to play again. So the way to follow the steps, or follow the way, is like step by step, but consistent with perseverance, totally step by step. And if we are speaking about the power of the speech, it's like every day, a part of our spiritual work is to share only things that can benefit you, your environment, and the world. So this is the power of Mem Lamed Hey for this week. Use it wisely, and share only when you think it can benefit you and the rest, with the right intention, with the right consciousness. Thank you for joining me today, and have a blessed week.